You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice AJ Punishment Show, and I got a huge cast of people around me today. On mic 1, we have Devil's Report again. What's going on?
Stuff is kind of crazy right now in the hockey world. We're going to get into it very shortly, but I'm kind of in shock almost. You guys will see what's in store. It's going to be a crazy episode. Let's put it that way.
Sharing on mic 1. Unless she's on mic 2, I'm not sure. We have Nem on mic 1/2. I guess we're going to go with 1 for today. She'll probably toggle back between the two. What's going on, Nem?
Hi. I'm very excited for today's episode. Not only is it AJ's Punishment Day, but there's just so much hockey news.
And on mic 2, we have the Penguins fan in the Devils jersey. AJ's back. What's going on?
It's not a good day. It's not a good day. Y'all got me. Y'all won. Enjoy today.
Well, respectfully, I think you got yourself. You're the one that made the bet.
You know what? Stuff happens.
You're right.
You got me. You won. You may have won the battle today, but you're not going to win the war. That's all I'm going to say.
On mic 3, we got Devils Fanatics, and his dad retired today, everybody.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm very proud of you, Dad. You were an amazing football player, best NFL player, best quarterback of all time. I love you, Dad. And also, as I'm talking here, I'm actually posting on my Instagram story. AJ Chan, what happened? So this could be a great day. I think this could be the greatest episode in the history so far.
No, it's not.
Yo, yes, it will, because this is AJ's Punishment Day.
For those who don't know, Justin's dad is also named Tom, and his last name is Brady, so it's the best joke in the entire world. It's the best joke ever. Happy retirement for your dad there. But, boys and girl, we're rolling right into it here. AJ, first of all, how does it feel wearing the Jack Hughes jersey?
You know what? This variation of the jersey, it's not that bad. Why? Because there's no Devils logo on it.
There's no Devils logo
Hey,
on it.
it's got the Hughes. It's got the number. It's got the little stupid All-Star patch, which, that's not fun. But as long as it's not red, it's not the Devils
Oh,
logo.
it's red. It's red.
It's very red.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
red.
it's red. It's red.
I don't think it's that red. I'm going to be completely honest.
Maybe
I think
it's
it's
not
more
that red,
white
but
and
it's
black
red.
than red.
That's
But you know
100%
what?
true.
Listen, as long as it doesn't have the Devils logo. So, thank you guys and ladies. I appreciate it.
Took it too easy
It's
on him, I
nice.
think.
What other jerseys we got in here? We got an Andre Palat jersey. We got a Jesper Bratt jersey. And a Nico Hischier jersey. 4 Devils jerseys in here. And we got All-Star replacement Alexander Barkov jersey on my back. Austin Matthews got hurt. So guess who gets to play in his place? Sasha Barkov. Which, I'm going to be real, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think Nylander should have made the All-Star game. Or Dahlin. The Atlantic Division has not one defenseman on their team. Not one defenseman is on that team.
Damn.
Perfect chance to give Dahlin a spot. But they didn't feel like it. You know what I mean? They don't care about Dahlin like that. They gave it to him last year, though, for whatever reason. But, not this year. Regardless, here we are. AJ's Punishment Day. He's wearing the Jack Hughes jersey. But enough talk about that. Let's roll right into the news of the past week. Now, right before the show happened, right before this show, we got Devils Fanatics from Devils Report editing it right now. Andrew Brunette, boys, take it away. Take it away.
I mean, I don't think this is the news any of us were expecting to see this afternoon. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to have to go somewhere to get help or anything like that, because it seemed like he refused to, communicate with the police and stuff like that. So
You want to give a breakdown for
Yeah, everyone's like, what are they talking about?
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So basically, Andrew Burnett. So obviously, right now it's the All-Star break. So Devils associate coach Andrew Burnett was in Florida. I don't know, probably on vacation or for something like that. But he got arrested for a DUI today. So basically, that's all we know as of now. So if there's any further news on the show, we'll report it. So. Anything? I don't know. Anything else,
Yeah,
guys?
this just happened, and I wouldn't have expected it, man. Bruno, it's just the most random thing. You know what I mean? The most
Yeah.
random thing.
And I mean, like, Andrew Burnett, like, I don't know about what you guys think, but I think Andrew Burnett has been a really important piece for the Devils this season,
He was an
especially
important piece for the Cats last year.
especially on the power play. I mean, the Devils, like, for the last few years have had a horrible power play, but it seems like it's really improved this season, and that's all thanks to Andrew Burnett. So, I mean, if they lose him, that will be very big.
Well, we'll have to see what happens there. You never know in this day and age with what these. This is a huge PR mess for the Devils now. They got to clean that one up. AJ, Nem, and I are in a sports PR class. You know, we're learning about this type of stuff. Aren't we?
Yes, we are. I wouldn't be shocked if we even hear about this next week.
We can totally hear about this next week. Now, moving on to bigger things, we got the Vancouver Canucks. Can't stay out of the media. They did it. Bo Horvat has been traded to the New York Islanders. Now the Islanders are going to miss the playoffs by 10 points instead of 15.
You know what? We like it. We like it for the Islanders. I mean,
We like it for the Isles.
obviously adding like an 80-point top 6 center. What's our number 1 center?
100%.
Obviously a W. The Canucks, though. What in God's name are we doing? Your moves make no sense. They make no sense at all. First of all, last year we don't trade with JT Miller, but he gets re-signed. So we're sending the message through the organization. You know what? We're gonna win, right? We have guys like Oliver Ekman-Larsson on a big contract. We extend Andrei Kuzmenko.
That happened also, days ago.
It's like
Kuzmenko got a 2-year, I believe it's 2-year, $11 million contract.
So they re-sign him days before trading your captain. You have Elias Pettersson, who's looking for a big deal. He's probably not coming back. And now they're on the fence of trading Brock Besser. They are just in the most absolute limbo place I've ever seen. You know how I was saying a few weeks ago that if they just build on top of this core, they could actually do something?
Yeah.
No. Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. You know what? I don't trust their organization. I don't trust their ownership. As sad as it is to say, I don't trust Jim Rutherford. I really don't. I think his time in Pittsburgh, he was great. He won 2 Stanley Cups, but this is what happens when you. When you give people too much power. It is. It's sad to see for Canucks fans. In Canada, hockey's everything. Even though it's probably the smallest hockey market in Canada, Vancouver's still one of the bigger hockey markets in the league. So, you know what? It stinks for them. It stinks for their fans. But that's what happens when you have inept people running your franchise. So, Canucks, have fun missing the playoffs for the next 5-10 years because I don't know when you're going back.
Have fun missing the playoffs. Not only that, but even more, Ilya Mikheyev, that's his name, right? I believe I got that pronunciation right.
Yeah.
He's having ACL surgery, so he's done for the season. And on top of all of that, they placed, I believe, what's his name, Lane Peterson on waivers, and the Canucks, the Blue Jackets picked him up. So a ton of stuff going on with the Canucks. They just have a lot going on. And it's not getting any better.
Worst ran franchise in the NHL. Even worse than Arizona. Even worse than Philadelphia. Even worse than the Blackhawks. Right. It's not close.
Yeah, right now you can make a case for that. I just want to comment on the Islanders trade of for what they got.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the trade for the Islanders whatsoever.
Let me check the trade out. So basically here, what we got? They give up Beauvillier, Ratty, and a first, right?
Yeah, I in my opinion, I don't. First of all, the Islanders are not even in a playoff spot right now, and most people think they're still
sixth in the Metro.
And most people think they're still not going to get into a playoff spot. Beauvillier has been a very long time player for this team, and
they're only 2 points behind a playoff spot, so it's not crazy.
I don't see it happening for them. Beauvillier is probably one of the fans' favorite players there on the island, and what's his name, Ratu. He's their number 1 prospect, and they give up a first-round pick as well for Bo Horvat, who hasn't even been extended yet, let alone. So, if the Islanders extend him, maybe that's a W, but Lou Lamoriello has to be questioned here, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys.
Well, here's my thing about this trade for the Islanders, right? So, They're 2 points out of a playoff spot. Their core's not getting any younger. You have guys like Brock Nelson, Anders Lee, Josh Bailey, guys like that. They're not getting any younger. So, like, you have your Varlamov, who's up there in their 29s and everything. Not Varlamov. You know what I'm saying. They're not getting older. So
they're not getting older.
He
said they're not getting older.
They're not getting any younger. Brutal wordplay. But you get the point. So adding an 80-point, a top 6 center, it's not a bad move. I'm always a believer that whoever gets the best player in the deal wins. It's gonna end up winning in the long term. For as bad as a prospect pool that the Islanders have, giving up already sucks. Or it stinks, rather. But that's what you got to do when you're trying to go all in. Unfortunately, for a guy like Lou Lamoriello, right? He's up there. He's in his 80s.
He's like 80,
Yeah. I hate to say this. Like, you don't know how many more years he's going to have left, not only as the GM of the Islanders, but, like, on this earth.
Yeah.
So I understand from his perspective, we're in a competitive spot. We see this move being a player. We see that we not only for this year that could help us for the long term, which I don't think you make this move without extending him. I think it's going to cost you a little bit, but I don't think you make this move without extending him. So, in the long term, the Canucks going to win this trade. Yeah, if that prospect ends up becoming something, they hit on that first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, give me the best player.
I mean, I get that, but I don't see this as really helping them long term. I mean, other than Bo Horvat, if they extend him, like, really, who did the Islanders have long term? Like, Matt Barzal? And that's, like, really it. Like, there's really no young, good players on this team right now. And it's been like that for years now. They've always been up there, like, with the oldest, like, average team in the league, with around, like, 29 years old. That's not good. So, yeah, they might be in a win now mode. But we're talking about, like, 2 years, 3 years from now, the Islanders are not going to be a good team whatsoever. They're going to be back to, like, their years when they were, like, always in last place and stuff like that. So I don't see how, and I don't see the Islanders going, if they make the playoffs, I don't see them going past the first round. So I don't see how this move is going to help them in the future. Obviously, Bo Horvat, amazing player. Like AJ said, 80-point player. And he's a goal scorer which the Islanders needed desperately, but I don't see how it's going to help them long term because I don't see anybody else that they have other than Bo Horvat and Matt Barzal.
I do have to say, if like AJ said, they're probably going to extend him. That would be a dumb trade, frankly, if they didn't. But I'm a Mets fan; I've seen them do it. So anyway, he's going to cost a lot, and the Islanders are not in a great cap situation right now. And he's going to want a ton, and his finishing right now is kind of unsustainable. I mean, it's very, very, very far off from how he's been the rest of his career, and that seems to be a thing with players in contract years, and they usually can't follow it up with another season of that caliber. I mean, I believe he's finishing at around over 20% right now, that's really, really good. So
that's a really, really good man.
So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's as good of a player as it seems right now. In terms of the long term, it's a good move. I mean, they are obviously instantly a better team now. And I don't know. I don't see them doing anything great with just Bo Horvat.
The best part about this whole thing, you finish first. You go first.
They don't have any talent, young talent surrounding him. Like, it's kind of like they're stuck in between a rebuild and a retool, and they don't really know what they're doing. And I don't think anyone really knows their true plan, but the Islanders still need a lot of pieces. I don't remember if it was anyone here who said it, but the Islanders need like 4 Bo Horvats to actually become a contender.
He's right.
And unfortunately, cloning, as we know, is not a thing. So
maybe one day.
Maybe one day we could clone the Bo Horvats.
I mean, if you had a twin brother, then you got, you know what I mean? Like the Sedin twins. Yeah, exactly. You just need that again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't imagine 4 Jack Hughes on the ice. I don't think my brain could handle that.
The best part about this whole thing is Bo is still going to the All-Star game, and he's still repping the Canucks at the All-Star game, baby. Kind of like like, breaking up with your girlfriend but still going to prom.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Like, imagine you broke up with your girlfriend 2 weeks before prom, but, like, you still got the tickets already, so, like, you're like, you know what, let's just go anyway. Let's just go together.
Just sounds like a brutal night.
That
He
happened.
is-
It just sounds brutal.
That happened to my friend 2 days before prom. Actually, yeah, it was not a great night for him. Let's just say that.
Regardless,
Did you chirp him a little bit?
Nah, I can't do that, bro. That's so sad.
but regardless, yeah, so Bo is representing the Canucks at the All-Star game. Incredible.
I
Great
think
job, National Hockey League Masterclass. NHL Masterclass right there.
That's gonna be fun to watching him play with a bunch of guys whose division he's not in anymore.
Dude,
But
he's got a Canucks, yeah, legitimately.
I think overall, I'm personally just a little bit salty because the Devils passed up on Atu Ratu for Chase Stillman.
Yeah.
As me and Justin know, Chase Stillman is.
He, in the preseason this year, he was like invisible out there, and
Yeah,
like everybody was
I don't think
hoping he'd even.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. He'd even make it past the first round of roster cuts.
Yeah,
And he's a
I-
first round pick. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, he was part of those COVID players where like they didn't have a lot of games under their belt, so it was kind of a gamble. And Ratu was originally supposed to be the #1 overall pick in that draft, and in 2021, and he didn't have a good 2 years after his age 16 season, so his draft stock fell a ton. But he was still supposed to be #1 overall at that point, at some point, and we had the pick number 29 overall. I mean, I don't know. I think I'd rather gamble on the guy who was supposed to be a #1 overall pick versus the guy who really didn't have any sort of pedigree besides having 4 points in 7 games for Canada at the U18s. He is under a point per game player in the OHL right now. He has 35 points in 40 games, and that just does not translate to NHL talent. I mean, I think that's around where Curtis Gabriel's numbers were for us Devils fans.
I love Curtis
in
Gabriel.
the OHL. And don't get me wrong, I love Curtis Gabriel too, but in terms of hockey talent, high-end draft talent, Curtis Gabriel is not in the category of any elite skaters or players in this game. But it's just they took a gamble on a guy who, in 2020 he scored 34 points in 58 games in the OHL. You don't take a gamble in the first round on someone like that. Maybe in the 4th or 5th round, but not in the first round. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I have more hope in Shakir Mukhamadullin than I do in Chase Stillman. So, I don't know. I think the Devils have done really well drafting lately. I mean, they've got Jesper Bratt and Yegor Sharangovich in late rounds. They've even traded their assets for good pieces like Jonas Siegenthaler and Vitek Vanacek. So I can't complain entirely, but in this instance, their drafting the drafting was just not great. But can't win them all, you know.
Well, now that the Bo news is over, he's in the Islanders. Let's head into the traditional topics. Division by division, let's get into it. The Pacific Division first. Now, ladies and gentlemen, guess who's no longer in first in this division?
Vegas.
They're
Golden
not in
Knights.
first anymore. They played their way down to third, actually. Seattle is now in first, going up 2 spots. Vegas down to 3. Incredible, man. I've been waiting for it all year. Seattle's at the top now, and they're not going anywhere. I saw when they played the Canucks. Did you guys see that? They chanted "Bruce, there it is." They chanted
Yeah.
"Bruce, there it is" at the game. Greatest troll ever. Greatest troll, because they were up 6-1, and Seattle's rolling right now. I think they have all the tools to pull it off and take this division. A great play, just great play by them. I love what I'm seeing. As far as Vegas goes, how do you guys feel? Chandler Stevenson's now in the All-Star game because Matty Beniers is injured for Seattle. So, you guys like this move here? You guys like this replacement?
Well, in my opinion, I think every team deserves to get a representative. So I think you should have put Burakovsky in the All-Star game for Seattle. My opinion.
Man, stop it. Not Devils Fanatics. Devils Report. What is your opinion? He didn't even hear me. He has no idea what we're talking about.
In the meantime,
Let's see if
this
Dave
isn't a
can guess what we're talking about.
This isn't a participation event. Not every team needs a representative. Just send the best
Look,
players there.
in my opinion, if you want to get the highest viewership, I feel like if
Dude, I don't care about views.
I care about viewership. I care about the NHL should care about
That's
viewership.
why
They
Barkov's
don't.
in the All-Star.
Why do you think so many games are blacked out in locations where you can't watch them on cable?
Yeah, that is true.
It's like
It is
like
annoying.
the viewership thing in the NHL just boggles my mind because they're the first people to be like, buy ESPN Plus, subscribe to this, subscribe to that. But then you do, and they're like, sorry, you can't watch the
Oh,
game.
no, yeah, I can't watch any Rangers or Devils or Islanders games out here because it's
Yeah.
blacked out on ESPN
Yeah.
Plus. Yeah, we can't watch it, yeah.
So it's like, what do you want them to do?
Have
And
to
then-
have MSG out here, yeah.
And then they get mad when people go to streaming sites that are offshore.
Oh, I love that, man. And everyone in here definitely uses them.
Yeah.
And what do we think what the casual fans' mindset is? What that would most likely be? A, to watch their favorite players in the All-Star game and have 83 times minimum that they can do that. Or B, know that it's an event to where the best players in the league should be showcased. The best, but I want to watch the best players, yet you still have 82 other times to watch your favorite players.
I mean, if I'm a casual fan, I want to see my favorite player in the All-Star game. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, they
That's just
stink.
my opinion.
What if they stink?
Huh? Well, Burakovsky doesn't stink.
Hmm?
Does Andre Burakovsky stink?
Listen, man,
Is Andre
Nick Suzuki
Burakovsky
back-to-back years
is Andre
in the All-Star game.
Burakovsky with a more deserving of an All-Star spot?
I don't know. I don't know his stats. I gotta check real quick.
Oh, that's all
You
you
are,
need
you are
right there.
lobbying for a player to make the All-Star game and you don't know his stats.
Yeah, look, he has 13 goals, 26 assists, 39 points. So, I mean,
Oh my god!
how many- in
Oh
how
my
many
god! A
games?
39-point player deserves to be in the All-Star game. Woo!
Yeah, I mean,
Oh boy!
bro brought out the
Oh,
Mickey
I was
Mouse
waiting for
accent.
AJ to pull
Come
out the
on.
goofy voice.
So,
Um,
Come on.
Barkov is in
Goofy.
the All-Star game, and Chandler Stevens in
Yeah,
the
that's
All-Star
what
game.
I don't know. I just
Man, it's over here
jeez.
now.
can we talk about like how Vegas came to the East Coast, lost to the Devils, Rangers, and Islanders. Like I find it hilarious,
I
honestly.
wonder what team they beat.
Was the Penguins? Was it the the Pittsburgh Penguins? What happened? AJ, tell us what happened.
How about no? How about we move on?
We'll get there. How about that? We will get there. But scrolling down here, Edmonton still meddling along in the wild card spot. Calgary is still doing more of the same. You know, they're just kind of. Well, actually, I lied. The Avalanche have played their way to the wild card spot. So goodbye, Calgary. It was nice knowing you while you were there. Vancouver, we already talked about them. We don't need to get into them. San Jose's at the bottom. Let's talk about Timo Meier, everyone, because he's the hottest guy to get traded right now. Right? We can all agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're asking for 3 pieces. First round pick, 1 or 2 prospects for Timo Meier. That's San Jose's asking price.
Devils, get it done.
A first,
Yeah.
top prospect, and a couple B prospects. Or a good prospect. There's a lot of different, they want prospects in a pick.
Mhm.
Where's he going, guys?
Wait. So sorry. Is it 3 prospects in a pick or just 3 pieces
One
total?
pick, 3 pieces,
3
a
pieces.
pick?
Okay.
and a prospect, another prospect, or a good prospect with a young roster player. So they either want 1 pick with 2 prospects, or a very good prospect and 1 player.
Okay.
So it's a lot of different scenarios here. The hottest guy on the trade block right now, Timo Meier. I know you guys want him, but where's he going?
I think he's going to the Devils. I'm being honest. I mean,
Oh.
the Devils have been heavily linked to Timo Meier over the last week or 2. And the Devils have the assets to get him. They could trade a first. I made a mock trade. You could check it out on Devils Fanatics if you want to. I put 2023 first round pick Alexander Holtz, and who else did I put? I don't even know.
You don't even know your own mock trade.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, I put first and second round pick and Alexander Holtz. So obviously it seems like they want 2 prospects. So I would put maybe like a guy like Riley Walsh maybe. I don't want to do Graham Clark because I know he's on the rise right now. So maybe Riley Walsh, Alexander Holtz in a first. I mean, I would do that. I don't know what you guys think.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, my only concern about like getting Timo Meier to the Devils is that like I don't want them to run out of like cap space and not be able to like afford players like Jack Hughes or Jesper Bratt because, like, we need them.
As she has the Bratt jersey on.
The day that Jesper Bratt gets traded is the day I'm just no longer a Devils fan.
Let's go. She's going to the Florida Panthers fan.
That I did not say that.
If you had to become a fan of another team, what would it be?
Not the
Where would you
Penguins.
jump to? Where would you jump to?
Not the Penguins.
Pittsburgh.
No, absolutely not. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Toronto.
I become a Lightning fan ASAP. 100%, man.
That's like a Kevin Durant move. Just
Listen, if the Cats relocated or didn't become a team, I am going to support the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Andrei Vasilevsky, love that man. Love that man so much.
fair. But I just want to say how they said the Devils have been linked to them. Claude Lemieux is literally Timo Meyer's agent, and I believe there's some way Tom Fitzgerald, the Devils GM, is like linked to one of the, I don't remember the exact connection, but it's like their assistant GM is like best friends with Tom Fitzgerald or something like that, or used to work high up for the Devils. Like there's a lot of, what's it called? There's a lot of strings that connect the Devils to Timo Meyer. And I also want to say that Jonas Siegenthaler and Nico Hischier both played with Timo Meyer for many, many years growing up through many Swiss hockey events. And they are also all vacationing. It's not confirmed that they're together, but confirmed that Timo Meyer, Nico Hischier, and Jonas Siegenthaler are all vacationing in the same city in Mexico. So that's just a little tidbit there. Maybe Nico's doing some early recruiting. But it's going to be very interesting. And like Nem said with the contracts, Jack Hughes is already locked up, but Jesper Bratt is not. He will be a free agent after this season, and it is going to be a tough call. However, the Devils have, I believe, about $22 million coming off the books so after this season. So they're going to be parting with players like, with lower end players, probably one of Damon Severson or Ryan Graves, but having that money is going to free up money for Timo Meyer if they're going to extend him. But in terms of Bratt, it really comes down to Bratt's greediness. Like, obviously he deserves a lot of money. He has been an excellent player this year. He has taken, the past 2 years, he's taken his game to a completely different level. But it's like, that cap space is annoying. That's what it comes down to. Like, how are we going to fit them in? And it does help a lot that Nico, Jonas, and Jack all took team-friendly contracts. But cap space is hard to navigate, and it might become a valuation that Timo Meyer is either more valued or less valued than Jesper Bratt. And we have to figure that out. Because it's tough, because like you don't want to just bring this new guy in and say he's going to be Jesper Bratt's replacement when Jesper has been a part of this team for so long and has done so well. But at the same time, you have to make decisions as a franchise, and whether they'll cut money elsewhere or hopefully maybe convince Jesper to take a contract that's not absurd. Like,
He's going to the Blue Jackets.
Here's the thing. People are saying that since Jack Hughes took $8 million a year, that Jesper Bratt is going to have to be less than that. Which, if you look at it in hindsight, yeah, obviously Jack Hughes is a better player. But Jack Hughes took that deal when he was less than half a point per game player, and he was injured.
Yeah.
And he was out for a long time. It was like 30 games, I believe. So he didn't take that contract today. If Jack Hughes was bargaining for a contract today, he'd probably get like $14 million. Like,
It's a lot of millions, sir.
it is. It would definitely be up there. It would be at least 12.
12, yeah, I agree.
But the thing is, that's not... The Devils gambled on him. He was a 19-year-old kid at the time who was less than half a point per game.
And now you're a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah,
And how many points a game do you score?
a lot more than Jack Hughes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to the Devils in a little bit. But to cap off this little division here, the Ducks are at the bottom. They won 2 games this week. But what did Trevor Zegras say, guys? Do we have any idea? Do we have any clue what he said?
I'm not a master on lip reading. I'm not going to speculate, but all I'm going to say is, phew, that was a messy situation.
Who ended up winning that game? Well, I think Anaheim.
Oh no, Trevor Zegras
scored an
the
overtime winner.
Yeah, he
scored an
did.
overtime winner in that game.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's rough.
Is Trevor Zegras the most toxic NHL player?
Is he the most toxic NHL player?
At all, like AJ said. So I'm not gonna say anything, but what I am gonna say is it didn't look good from what I saw. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's everyone else's opinion. It had to be something pretty bad to set off Troy Stecher the way it did, because you don't generally see NHL players going off like that. Like
they
that,
usually fight with smiles on their faces. Like Ryan Lomberg
yeah.
swinging at people with a smile.
Yeah, exactly. And there was another video angle that showed Stecher saying to Zegras, "Don't talk about my family like that." So even if what's rumored is, for anyone who doesn't know, that Trevor Zegras said something to Troy Stecher mid-game about his late father who passed a year ago, and that is not confirmed. That is just what it appeared to be to some people by lip reading. That is not factual in any way. But with that being said, we have it confirmed that it was something about his family, and it's not fair to speculate, but at the same time, it's reasonable to question it in the sense that it set an NHL player off to an extreme that we don't normally see NHL players go to. It's very rare. And it was confirmed that it was something about his family. So even if it wasn't about his father, it was still a direct attack that set Stecher off the way it did. And Trevor Zegras, I'm a huge Trevor Zegras fan. I own a Trevor Zegras t-shirt. He's the reason I'm so big into World Juniors, because the way he put Team USA on his back. So this is sad to see, but I can't say it's necessarily out of character. I mean, even in those World Juniors a few years back, every single goal he scored, he'd show up the team's bench a little, get right in their face. Like he's pushing the line of what can and can't be done. And to his benefit, I mean, no one's really done anything to stop him, and he doesn't get that much hate for it. He's a very universally loved player. So he's going to keep pushing those boundaries, and until there's an enforcer that steps in his way or he continues antics, and again, I don't know exactly what was said, but
then let's get Ryan Lomberg on the case. We got him in Florida. Take care of business on Zegras. Trevor Zegras. Regardless, we're already halfway through the show, and we got a long way to go. So transitioning in now, Central Division time. Dallas is at the top, even though they lost both of their games this week. So they're still holding down the fort in the Central, but I'm surprised Winnipeg has not caught them yet. You want to know why? Winnipeg has 1 overtime loss, while Dallas has 10. That's quite literally the difference. That's a 9-point swing, because Winnipeg is a 32-win team. Dallas has only 28 wins, and they're ahead. It's ridiculous to me. Like, it's good. They're going to have to get them eventually. You can't just keep losing in overtime and keep getting these points. But Dallas has literally lost, I think, their last 3 games, 2-3 in overtime, every single game. Buffalo, Carolina, and the Devils. Talk to me about that game, guys. Devils fanatics got it.
For what, Devils Stars game?
Devils Stars.
I mean, it was a really rough start, to say the least. I mean,
that's how it's been, like, every game.
Yeah, lately it has been. Devils went down 2-0 early. It looked like it might have been a blowout, but then all of a sudden the Devils respond in the second period. Jack Hughes scores, because what else is new? And then Miles Wood was finally able to score for the first time in 15 games or something like that. So it was nice to see.
We'd love to see it.
And something that nobody's talking about is Vitek Vanecek is the real Devils MVP, or at least close to it right now. Obviously, Jack Hughes having an amazing season, but Vitek Vanecek is keeping the Devils in these games, holding teams to, in the beginning, he might start off slow, but then second, third period, he's a brick wall.
He makes the saves.
He makes so many. Exactly, he makes so many big saves, and
every single time he answers the bell, and that has been so huge.
Yeah, and honestly, I view this game as a game that the Devils maybe shouldn't have won, but know what? They
do it anyway.
Vitek gave him a chance.
That's the exact difference. If you look at the analytics from last year, they say that if the Devils had just league average goaltending, they would be a borderline wild card team. Instead, we were one of the worst teams in the entire NHL. Now we get VTech, who has just been everything we could have asked for and so much more. And it's so wonderful to see because gone are the days of John Gillies letting in shots that deflect 4 times and squeak through his 5-hole, and Andrew Hammond letting in dump-ins from the red line. And like we have a legitimate NHL goalie who is just doing his job the way it's supposed to be done. And besides prime Corey Schneider, for a few years, the Devils have not had that at all. And I'll give you Mackenzie Blackwood's 2019-20 season. He was solid.
Also, Keith Kincaid, playoff run. He had the most wins, I think, for a 4-month stretch there.
You're right, but consistently, no one has performed in net the way VTech has, and you see it. He's a fan favorite. I mean, we even have the little.
He's like, Vitek Vanacek is so innocent, but he's like. He should be protected at all costs because he talks in third person when he gets interviewed. Yeah.
Actual quote. National treasure.
Sorry, we were raving about Vitek Vanacek a little too much, I guess.
Oh man.
Not a single person cares. There's just not a single person cares.
I love Vitek though.
All
right, let's move on to relevant topics. Let's move on to actual topics that happened in the last couple weeks.
The Jets
not a Devils
still...
Stars game a few weeks ago.
That was not a few weeks. It was this week.
Yeah.
It was days ago. This guy, bro. Who is this guy, bro?
Who is you?
Who is this guy, bro?
Fatality.
I mean, it is AJ's, it's punishment day. So he's not allowed to speak. Taking his mic away. He can't talk now, guys. Mic is off. Look at him. He's smiling. He's like, I can't speak. Oh, no. Yeah, everyone else went silent there, too. It's like, my mic just turned everybody off.
That was my mic, too.
Regardless now, the Winnipeg Jets, they'll catch in first. Now the Wild have played their way back into a playoff spot, winning both their games this week. And now, for them specifically, Ryan Reeves has passed 1,000 career penalty minutes. So congratulations. Congratulations to Ryan Reeves. Huge accomplishment there. See the Flyers Wild game break it into 3 fights in 15 seconds.
CTE has entered the chat.
CTE has entered Minnesota. CTE has entered Minnesota, and now Colorado falls down into a wildcard spot, which pushed Calgary out, as I mentioned before. Nashville won a game. The Blues have lost 5 straight games, so that's rough on them. Jordan Binnington moment. They haven't won a game. Arizona's at the bottom of the totem pole, and Chicago is way down there. So, not much is going on in those regards, but that's all we got really there on the Central. Let's move on to the greatest division in the league right now. I could say it. I'm going to say it. The Metro. And drum roll, please, because we are going to get right into the team of the week. It's a long drum roll, but it's the Carolina Hurricanes. They are the reason the Devils are not at first. Quite literally, they won 6 straight. They're back on top after falling. They were on the way up. They won 4 straight games. Took down Dallas in overtime. They beat the Bruins. They beat the Kings. And the Sharks, something the Penguins could not do this week.
Oof.
We'll get there, though. Now, I think they're just playing incredible hockey right now. They're at the top of the Metro. And they're quite literally 6 points ahead of the Devils, but only 1 win higher because guess who loses more games in overtime? The Canes. You guys gotta start losing more games in overtime, bro.
We're too good of a team in overtime.
We are.
I've had so many discussions, not just with you guys, but with my other friends too. It's the only difference between us and Carolina is Carolina's better at losing because they can prolong the game more.
Dude, they're better at losing, man.
The Hurricanes are really annoying me right now because that Sharks game, the Sharks are the only team in NHL history to give up an empty net and still go on to lose the game. And know what? They're the only team to do it, but they've done it twice in the last 3 years.
Yes, exactly.
So the Hurricanes were down 4-2 with like a minute and a half left. Carolina ties the game, wins in overtime. Then last night against LA, they're down.
I watched that.
It was so annoying. Carolina's down 4-1. They come back and win the game and win in overtime, I believe, 5-4. So Carolina is just, well, credit to them. I mean, they're an amazing team. And they also beat Boston, right?
Yeah, they beat Boston 4-1.
That's 4-1. That's amazing.
Now-
But Carolina, man, they're so annoying.
Hats off to them. They're holding it off at the top team of the week.
Time for Boston to tank for Bedard. Right?
Boston's downfall.
So now, in second in the Metro, we got the Devils. Obviously, Dougie Hamilton's been playing solid, really good this past week for you guys. And what's the one game they won this past week? They beat the Dallas, but talk to me about the Prez game.
That was probably one of the worst defensive performances I've ever seen before by the Devils. And that's including, like, last year and the years before that. So that's all I have to say about that.
See, last year is still very fresh in my mind. I could say that it wasn't the worst defensive performance. However, it looked like basically every game they played last year, which is not a good thing at all. Nikita Ohochuk had
Yeah.
him
He
and
got
Brendan
sent
Smith
down.
together that was the worst defensive played game I've probably ever seen from a specific pairing.
Okay.
I saw the chances for versus against. I think they had like 17 chances for and like 80 something against, like shot attempts or something like that. Like it was just a landslide. They had like 18% of the chances on the ice that entire game, and they just giving the puck away, just sloppy, poor defensive awareness, and that game got Nikita Ohochuk sent down immediately. So it was just bad. Like all around, for some reason, the Devils just cannot beat the Nashville Predators. John Hines. Forever.
Yep.
So it was painful, but the Devils did what good teams do. They bounced back with a huge victory against the best team in the West, the Dallas Stars. So.
I mean, you guys like that Johnny Hockey goal on the screen right there? You know, that was really cool. I hope you guys wish you could have that, right?
No.
No. You have the real Johnny Hockey. You
The
have
real Johnny Hockey. Who's that?
John Marino.
AJ's favorite guy. AJ's favorite guy. I put your mic on back a while ago, by the way. If y'all didn't know, listen. He has no. Nem has the.
I
headphones
took
and
over the mic.
She has mic too. AJ's just there.
AJ's not allowed to talk
He's not allowed
anymore.
to speak. Punishment.
AJ, why don't you tell us your opinion on this?
We'll get there in 1 second. So the Rangers are still sitting in third. The Capitals now moved up. And did you guys see the Capitals and Canes release the new Stadium Series jerseys?
I think
Give
they're.
me a rate. Give me a rate.
I don't like them. About out of a number, Capitals 3, Carolina 5.
Capitals 3. Has everyone seen the jerseys? Anyone else in the studio? Bueller.
Is that the Weagle ones?
The Weagle ones.
The eagle in the shape of a W?
This one here?
Yeah,
This one right
yeah,
here?
yeah, the Weagle.
Yeah. The Weagle.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be worse. I'm not a huge fan, but it doesn't bother me as much as the neon Dallas Stars jerseys.
I like those.
How about the
don't know.
Canes jersey?
The Canes
I
are
don't-
clean.
I don't like that.
It's too basic.
Yeah.
I think we could at least all be in agreement that at least it doesn't look like someone's grandmother's table.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the Devil's Burger King uniforms.
I like the Devil's Burger King
I like the
uniforms.
Burger King
And they're
uniforms.
okay. They're okay.
For the Rangers, Ben Harper signed a 2-year, $1.5 million deal with them. You know, a really small player, small deal for him. Solid contract. He'll get something going there. And for the Blue Jackets, all the way at the bottom, they're not even close to second in the Metro League. They're far. I didn't realize how far down they were. They're far. Like 18 points behind Philly. And Gustav Nyquist is done for the season. He had shoulder surgery. They announced it this morning. So it's just getting worse for them as it goes. Will they win 30 games this year, guys?
No shot.
No. If the Devils didn't last year, there's no way.
Will they
do
win
this
25?
year.
I don't think so.
It'll be close.
It'll be close to 25? How much do you think? Everyone, Blue Jackets win total.
23.
24.
Ooh, close.
What are they at right now?
15.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 23.
And they have, if I'm doing my math correct, 31 games left.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
23?
I go 23.
AJ, you got to get in on this one.
I think 21 because
19.
19, so they're going to 4 more games.
Hey, even better. I like that, AJ. Rare AJ dub.
AJW. You don't, listen, you're not giving this man his credit. You're not giving the man his credits.
Oh
I
yeah.
think we are.
Oh no, I did text him saying I will give AJ his props.
No, actually, hold
So-
on. Let me take care of that right now.
Go for
I
it.
need to say extreme props to AJ. I need to get that off my chest because he has been an excellent sport about this whole bet. I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, he was like, if the Devils beat the Penguins both times, I'll wear Devils merch, and vice versa if the Penguins beat them both times. And I didn't think he'd do it. I thought there was no shot. But
Here he is.
Here he is. He gracefully accepted my Jack Hughes All-Star jersey and put it on with pride. And, I mean, it's not an easy thing.
With pride.
Yes.
I wouldn't say with pride, but
Okay, I was giving you a compliment. But
I wouldn't say with pride. I would say with anguish. But the one thing that I do like about this jersey, and I've said it multiple times, is that it's white and there's no Devils logos on it. Take that information with as you will.
Clap it up for him.
I know it's not easy. I mean, if I had to put on a Phillies jersey, I think a piece of me would die inside.
Yeah.
But AJ, or even a Penguins for that matter. But AJ has had this jersey on for a solid 4 hours now, and he's just living with it. I mean, don't make a bet that you can't follow through on, and he is a man of his words. So as you said,
14
applause.
minutes, I get to take it off.
But now, one more thing really quick. Let's get another drum roll. AJ, we're talking about the Penguins, and they're getting the L of the week, man.
I saw it coming.
Let's
saw it
talk about
coming.
the Sharks game, because we know that's the one. Let's talk about the Sharks game real quick.
You see,
They lost 4-6.
a lot of words can be said. A lot of words won't be said. All I know is that when you lose your top 10 goaltender and when your defense is playing like you know what,
Like, you know what?
you know, what's it called, FCC Airwaves rules.
Yeah.
I was it's just not it's not a
gonna
recipe
happen.
for success. It's not a recipe for success, and this team needs a real shake up and a rip. What's it called? They need to get creative at the deadline. They're very cap strapped, so what moves they can make, I don't know, but they got to find a way. They got to get creative. They got to be able. They got to. That's all I'm gonna say. They just got to find a way because it's not looking good in Pittsburgh.
Want to touch on the Caps game at all?
Ugh. Again, I hate the shootout. At least they got a point.
Yeah, they lost 2-3 in the shootout that game.
Yeah, I mean they're able to kill a 4-on-3 and what's on the power on the PK in overtime, which
Lovely.
is nice. If only they're able to do that versus the Devils, maybe I wouldn't be wearing this jersey right now. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, they've just been playing like you know what lately. They're still in a playoff spot. I still think they're gonna make a wild card spot, but my expectation for this team are just going down and down and down and down and down by the day.
Can I ask you if you're genuinely worried? Because this whole time you've preached how regular season games don't faze you, and
They're in the 8th seed right now.
yeah.
They really don't. But if they keep this pace and we are 65 games in, then I'm going to be concerned.
You got Bo Horvat and the New York Islanders creeping up on you. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're like
I'm
a
not
point to
that
2
worried
points
about
behind.
that. What's that? I'm more worried about Buffalo than I am about the Islanders.
That's
I'm going to
true.
be completely honest.
Yeah.
The Flyers,
The thing that's giving me grace is that they're a point up on Buffalo with no games in hand, and they're only 3 behind Washington, but they have 4 games in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Flyers
So-
are... Oh, you good. Keep going, boys. Keep
I
going.
would say when it comes down to crunch time, 87, 71, 58, 59. They haven't let me down for 17 seasons. But
They're going to keep you up for 18.
that's the question. And right now, I would be able to give you an answer. I think I can give you an answer at this point, but it's not a definite as it used to be.
I hear what you're saying.
And
Can I-
it stinks.
I just want to say something real quick. I remember I was having a discussion with AJ. I don't know whether it was on FaceTime or on here, but he was like talking about how Vitek Vanacek is like a mid goalie and stuff like that.
Did you actually say
He
that?
did. Yes, he did. Yes, he just nodded for
What?
everybody's list. For everybody who's listening, he just nodded. And Vitek Vanacek was
watch
the main
hockey?
reason that the Pittsburgh Penguins lost that game a couple weeks back.
First of all, I just want to reference that this conversation was about 10 games into the season.
And still, you still said it. So
This conversation about this is when we were talking about 10 games into the season when Vitek Vanacek. Oh my God, we found ourselves a franchise goalie.
and we did.
Yeah,
We did.
It did. It eventually turned into an L take. But at that time, what's it called?
I'm just exposing you, AJ.
I was saying
That's
that
it.
more in terms of like, yo, slow your roll.
Yo, let him get on the
Slow
action.
your
Let him
roll.
get in the
I call
action.
Pat because you said game 10 of the season. Justin didn't even.
I wasn't even here at game 10 of the
show
season.
until around game
AJ's
20,
capping.
when Vitek
Well,
had
10,
almost
15,
9,
whatever.
30,
Nah,
30 saves
this was
percentage.
like 20 games. This is like when the Devils were on their like late into their 13-game win streak. So
When
yeah,
Vitek was literally
Yeah,
standing
yeah,
on his head,
AJ,
so
come on, man.
Well,
that
either
doesn't
way, the
look
take-
like mid-goalie to
AJ.
me,
The
but-
take was more in terms of
AJ.
y'all slow your. And we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
fair enough,
Can
enough.
we keep
but
this going
but,
on? You
but
know, he's having a good season.
a
I
really good season.
A really good season.
Thank you.
I don't think he's one of the 8 best goalies in the league,
Fair.
but I think he's around that 9 to 12 range. You can put it wherever you want.
I respect that. Thank you.
can put-
Thank you for saying that, AJ.
I would say you could put him anywhere you want. I'm not going to debate it. We're just debating mid from mid at that point. But he lights it up in the playoffs. The Devils go a couple rounds. Then you can give me another L.
You guys
Fair
want
enough.
But
Louis
for right
Domingue
now-
back for the playoffs?
Oh yeah, that spicy pork.
The fact that they ended up going 7 games in that series with Louis Domingue goal is just that's wild. That's wild.
That's
to me.
impressive.
It is. It's impressed with it. It's impressively bad. That's all the way I'm
The
saying.
Rangers were bragging about needing 7 games to beat a pie chef in goal. Like literally, he makes French baguettes and pies. And
I
posts
just
them on
want
Instagram.
to let everyone know that as the season started last year, he was a backup AHL goalie.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wasn't even the starter in Wilkes-Barre.
Legend.
He wasn't even the starter in Wilkes-Barre. He was the backup. And they what's on? And the Rangers took 7 games and took an overtime in Game 7. Ugh.
All right,
Don't get me
boys.
started. That was last
So,
season.
Phillies in 7th in this division. They're only 6 points out
Phillies?
of the playoff spot. I said Phillies. Flyers, my mistake. Well, Philly is. Phillies. Philly is. Phillies. Phillies in. They're 6 points out. You know what I'm saying? He works.
Yeah,
But-
I heard Kyle Schwarber got a hat trick last night.
Moving on. The Atlantic Division. Boston was in heavy contention for L of the week because they lost every game this week. It's here, guys. Here comes the Bruins' downfall. They lost to, I believe, they lost to Carolina and Tampa, so too bad. But they lost to the Florida Panthers. Yeah! Greatest thing I've ever seen all season long. Let me cap it 3 so far. So they were up 1-0 at the end of the first. In the second period, Brandon Montour, nasty tip and goal to tie the game. Guess how Boston scores their second goal? Take a guess. Everyone in front of me. How does Boston score their second goal? Take a guess.
Oh, I don't know this.
Anyone. Give me one person.
We don't watch Florida Panthers
But
games.
you watch Boston Bruins.
The
games,
horse's
don't you?
name was
Nah.
Friday.
So Boston just centers the puck and Sam Bennett puts it in his own net.
Oh, out of midair.
Yeah.
I did see that.
He literally puts it in his own
That
net.
was the most gorgeous deflection I've ever seen, and unfortunately it was in the wrong net.
First of all, what are you doing? Second of all, Alex Lyon, save it! How are you not paying attention? Ridiculous. But then guess what? Bennett scores in the third period anyway to tie the game, so he redeemed himself fully. Pasta scores with like 50 seconds left, and it's like, oh my goodness. It's over. But then Panthers empty the net, go 6-on-5. Barkov gets a wrist shot off with legit like a second left, 3 seconds left. They tie the game. Reinhardt scores in overtime, and Boston has not won a game since before last episode. Yeah! So they were in heavy contention, but they're still at the front of the league because they have 81 points in 50 games. Insane. Toronto creeping up there. Nylander's playing great. I think he should have been an all-star in the replacement for Matthews, but no, they wanted to put Barkov in for whatever reason. Tampa still playing good hockey. Won both their games this week. Nikita Kucherov, Vasilevsky on another planet. The Sabres, Tage Thompson is still playing phenomenal hockey, and they're 1 point away from the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I think it's going to happen. I'm here for it. I think it's going to happen. Pittsburgh even has, well, they both played only 49 games, so like we're going to have to be really interested to see what happens there. Florida, on the other hand, they beat Boston like that, but then they also lose to the Kings, and before that it was bad, but whatever. Out of nowhere, I gotta talk about the Ottawa Senators real quick.
Yes.
Claude Giroux resurgence. Senators almost won Team of the Week. Low-key honorable mention because now they're 6 points. They played themselves to 6 points out of the Penguins. They're 6 points behind the Penguins now because they won 4 games in a row. They beat Toronto 6-2. They beat the Islanders and they beat the Habs twice, but they're just dominant wins. So I got to give them their credit. Claude Giroux turned the clock back. 7 points in 3 games.
He was first star of the week for the NHL.
Incredible. And Anton Forsberg only allowed 3 goals in a 2-game stretch there. Out of nowhere, this Ottawa team just went off. And they moved up to 6th in the division. Buffalo moved up to 4th. Florida falls to 5th. Detroit falls to 6th. And I believe Detroit is having trouble with Dylan Larkin's camp. They're trying to agree on a contract. They're like stuck around. I think Detroit wants to give him $8 million a year, but he wants to get $9. Where do y'all think he's gonna fall?
I mean, I think on the open market, if he hits, I think he's going to fall around the 9 range. You're gonna have these teams that want this number 1 center, that want this guy who can give you 80, 90 points in a season, like that has speed, can move the puck, can make plays. Like it's gonna happen. And if you're Detroit, that's the guy you're building around. Like that, he wears the C for a reason. So I don't know why this deal wasn't done years ago, but. I guess there's a reason they're at 7th.
Are we all in agreement that the NHL needs to raise the cap ceiling?
Yep. I agree.
But they will. Every year they will. You know, as the
It's
league
like
makes more money.
barely anything though.
How much?
Well, they lost money because of the pandemic in 2020, so that hurt. But then they're going to keep making money.
It's just like there's so many like trade proposals, but most of the trades can't happen just simply because of cap. And I don't know. It's frustrating as a fan because what brings engagement is those big deadlines where there's all these trades and everyone's talking about it and these changes of scenery, but I don't think it's going to be a very busy deadline. It'll be like depth players going for picks and maybe the 1 or 2 big splashes like
Meyer. Yeah.
But
Meyer's the big one, and
Yeah.
Horvat was the second biggest one. He's already gone.
that's really it. Like, that's it. I don't know. They got to figure it out.
I mean, other guys out there, you know, Gavrikov, like, you think Pasta could get extended as well?
Yeah, he will.
I think he will.
Nick Bjugstad can get traded, Noel Achari, but, like, Tarasenko can even get traded, maybe.
Him and Ryan O'Reilly are being rumored to be traded.
Pulia Harvey, Ryan O'Reilly, yeah. all those
Patrick
guys.
Kane, but all these guys are just, it's all about money at this point.
Yeah.
They're all, Patrick Kane is hot. Like, he's washed.
Mm-hmm.
The big one's Meyer, for sure, and then I feel like Gavrikov.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all going to be about how much money are these teams willing to eat, how much money are these teams going to be willing to take on,
Yeah,
and you got to figure when that's all it's going to come down to. It's the compensation is the easy part. The
sorry.
picks and the players are the easy part. Like Daniel was saying, like the cap in the NHL is a big problem. Like what's that this year? Like 82, 83?
Something like that. Like, that's almost like, that's
nothing.
like 2 players in baseball.
Yeah.
It's literally nothing. Like when we're talking about like the best players in the league, like being paid like 14 million, 15 million. Obviously to like
And there's Dak making 40.
to us like 14, 15 million dollars is life-changing
Of
money.
course.
But
In that world.
we're talking about like play with people who are like the top 0.0001% at what they do. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about people in an entertainment business that bring millions to watch, fans to the stands, like 14, 15, like it's a joke.
Yeah, and it's
a joke.
Salaries are prorated too. So if you're in the AHL, you get called up for a few games, you make that money, but then you go right back down. You're barely making 6 figures. You might not even be making 6
Yeah.
figures. I mean, like there are cashiers making more than some AHL players, and that's a sub league to the greatest hockey league in the world. So it's like,
I hear what you're saying. Well, hopefully they'll raise the cap. You know, they're going to make money every year. But to close out the episode, we lost a hockey legend this week, Bobby Hull. Rest in peace. Everybody, what are your thoughts here? Everyone got nothing. Nobody got nothing, man. Nobody has nothing. He went back-to-back MVP, spent 15 years in the league. Franchise record 604 goals for what, the Blackhawks? I believe, yeah.
yeah, I'll take it then. I mean, first of all, rest in peace to a hockey legend. What he did in terms of the sport was very great. It's been discussed a lot on social media and throughout the whole hockey world that
His son's a Hall of Famer too, right, Brett?
yeah, I believe so. He did some questionable things over his lifetime. He was a very controversial person.
As you were listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Back to Daniel.
Not gonna go too deep into that, but I do agree with what AJ said a couple days ago, and it's that yes, it's okay to speculate about someone and talk about them in the sense that what they did, like the words they said over their lifetime. I mean, it's true as long as you're not spreading anything that's false. But at the same time, people are sending to his grieving family members. He was a horrible person, all this stuff, and it's like, even if that may be true, these people are grieving.
You don't need to say it to them.
They just lost a family member who was important in their lives, and if I'm sure there's probably a lot of people we know that if we lost them, it would make us upset if the first things we were hearing were they were a horrible person or they did this or that. Like, there's a grieving period, and it's okay to talk about it on social media, but it's not okay to get his family involved who is going through that grieving process right now.
100% agree.
Yep.
Now, this has been the conclusion of Breaking the Ice here. Connor Cupen, your host, alongside Daniel Amoia, Nem Hilal, AJ Chasan, and Justin Brady, the son of Tom. Now, any last words from the whole panel here?
Jack Hughes for MVP. I know AJ doesn't like that,
Yes,
but I feel like we'll
AJ wants a sentence. Yes, I know Connor McDavid is going to win MVP, but still, Jack Hughes for MVP.
exactly. He gets it.
I mean, Jack Hughes for second place. I can get behind that.
Okay,
All right.
that's
I mean,
fine.
I can get behind with him second
If he's
place.
the greatest player in the league
By a
besides
margin.
Connor McDavid, that is a very good thing. Because Connor McDavid, we've established the fact that he's not even a human being.
Yeah.
All right. AJ, what's your last words here?
You know,
I love this Jack Hughes jersey I'm wearing.
funny guy. No. Today was bad. It was not fun. I can't wait to get this off. But I hope y'all enjoyed this bet. I hope you enjoyed today. Go Pens, go.
I hope you enjoyed the glass seats for Dougie Hamilton's overtime winner.
Oof.
Nem, you're out.
Justin, I wish your dad the happiest retirement.
Thank you
as well.
so much, Nem. I appreciate
And
that
Daniel,
a lot.
you're up.
One last time. AJ Chasan.
What happened?
All right, guys. I'm Connor Cupen, signing off with Breaking the Ice. Fantastic show we had today. We'll be back next week for more of your favorite hockey content. Have a great day, everybody.